Recording. All right. Okay, so we are doing the signature watermark skeleton notes. So step 1 is to take a portrait. Step 2 is go to any iMac, bless you,
Thank you.
any iMac and open up a Chrome browser, just like this. And up here where you would put the address, you're going to put in 10.0.27.200, and it'll direct you to probably to a point where you need to log in. If it doesn't, you're already logged in, you're fine. But the username and password for the NAS device is Art iMac 3, capital A, capital M. And Art iMac 3.
Little I,
Little I.
big M,
Big M.
little A, little C.
Little a, little c. And a 3. Art iMac 3.
Is the password the same?
And the password is password, lowercase.
All lowercase.
All lowercase. And it says in your skeleton notes right there, take note of the capitalization. It is case sensitive.
Ooh. Case sensitive. That's what
So is the username though.
Case sensitive?
The username is case sensitive. That's why capital A, capital M.
No spaces.
No spaces.
Oh.
Okay, number 5. You're going to locate your scanned in signature under the folder Photo 2, then Signatures. So under here we have our file manager, and you will see Photo 2 right there. You double click on that and you'll see a folder for signatures. So I've scanned in all of your signatures. If you're absent for this portion, you need to come see me so we can get these in here for you. You have a couple options up here. For some of you, it may look like this. If it does look like that, make sure you hit the little thumbnail icon right here so you can actually see the images. You're going to find yours. You should easily recognize your own signature, I hope. So mine is right here. So you're going to then, number 6, right-click on your signature and download it to the computer. So I'm going to right-click, download, and you'll see the little thing drop down there. All right, so it's done. That should be in my folder for now. Number 7, you're going to open up Photoshop and open your image. Open your image of your portrait and the scanned-in image of your signature. The keyboard shortcut is, any guesses?
Command O.
Command O. Good job. Command O. So open up Photoshop.
How do you write it?
Command O.
You right click and right. And then click on the right. No.
All right, so I'm going to open up. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my signature.
You can open it up at the same time.
I know. One's in downloads, one's on my desktop. That's why I'm doing it separately.
Oh.
And then I'm going to open up my portrait, which is on my desktop.
So slow. That's because it knows that. That's so slow.
Okay, number 8. You're going to crop the portrait to a 4:6:3 aspect ratio. I'm sorry, 4:6:300. So your height is going to be, so if we go to the crop tool, 4 inches by 6 inches by resolution 300. If it doesn't look exactly like this, hit this little drop down box right here and make sure that it's on that one. Sometimes it'll be on ratio or something else, but you want it on the W times H times resolution.
So inches.
Inches, yes, not pixels. Although if it was pixels, it'll be like the.
For portrait, does it have to be like the black dark ground, or is it?
No.
outside, or-
It could be anything. So this is just the one I had available to me at the moment. Yeah.
What are they? I'm sorry.
4:6:300. I will be printing these out. You will be putting these. We will be displaying these in the hallway.
So it doesn't matter who you take a portrait of?
Nope. Anyone. So now it's cropped. I'm gonna hit Command plus to zoom in just so we can see it better. Number 8, crop the portrait. Okay, so we already did that one. Number 9, switch to the signature image. So we're gonna go over here to our signature image. This one right here. Okay, first thing we're gonna do is we are gonna create a duplicate layer by hitting Command
J.
J. Command J. So let me escape out of this. Command J. Now I have a duplicate layer in my layers panel here. Did I make 2 or 3? I have 3, so I only need 1. I'm going to turn off my background layer by hitting that little eyeball right there. And I'm just going to rotate it. So the way that you rotate it, this is not in your notes. You'll notice that your skeleton notes are in a certain style. Anyone recognize them? Cornell notes, right. So in the side there, write your, you might want to write this in there, okay? So to rotate it, if you need to rotate it, you're going to go to Image, Image Rotation, and this one I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees clockwise, which will put it into the proper aspect ratio. All right, number 11. So you want me to do that again real quick? Image, image rotation, and then whatever you need for your thing. So image and image rotation. All right, number 11. Now using a combination of the quick selection tool and the magic wand, select and remove the white background by hitting delete. Now that's a very, it looks really easy, but this is probably going to be the most difficult thing you're going to do for this whole project. Okay, so I will demonstrate though. You have your tools over here. You have your quick selection tool and your magic wand are both next to each other.
Okay.
I'm going to start with the magic wand. The first thing I'm going to do, and you might want to add this in your Cornell notes, is you'll probably want to contrast out your image. Some of you did it with pencil, and you'll see your pencil marks on there. But you'll want to have black, and white contrast as much as you can get. So I'm just going to simply go up here to Image, Adjustments. I'm going to go to Brightness and Contrast, and I'm just going to contrast it out.
All the way?
All the way out. We want black and white. That's all we want.
Could you also just like use the magic wand and click on the thing and then put invert selection and this paint over it?
Well, watch what I'm going to do real quick. Okay. So I'm going to use the magic wand for mine because mine's really simple. It's not, doesn't have a whole too many loops. It isn't too long. But I'm just going to click, and you'll notice that it's going to select pretty much everything except for inside of the J. And then I'm just going to click there. Oh, at the top here, you have some options. So we want to do the one that's add, the second one here. So if I put my mouse over it, it will tell me add to selection. So it'll continue adding. So now I have everything selected that's white, and I hit delete, and now I've completely removed my background. So, but for some of you though, you may have to grab the quick selection tool and go in there and actually kind of draw out exactly where you want it, okay? So if you have a really complicated signature, it'll take longer. Once you're at this point though, the background is completely gone. We're left with just my signature, which is kind of cool. And now I'll explain why in just a moment. All right, number 12. Now that once you're to this step, next click on Edit from the Tool Options menu at the top of the workspace, and then highlight and click on Define Brush Preset. Define Brush Preset. Then give your brush a name like Han Solo, Watermark, or something like that. Make sure you use a Twitter hashtag style with no spaces and capitalize each new word. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Define Brush Preset. So I will demonstrate. You go up here to Edit in your Tool Options menu. And then you go to Define Brush Preset. It's going to give you the brush name dialog box. You're going to give it a name. So I'm going to give it my name because this is my preset. So I'm going to call this Mr. Byrne. Oh, no periods. Mr. Byrne, Watermark. No spaces, no special characters, no periods, no backslashes, just letters, numbers, and spaces. Is all
No
you should have.
spaces.
No spaces, right. And then click OK. Now if I go to my brush tool by pushing B, you'll see that it should automatically select. Oh, it's really big. Let's make it smaller.
Oh, are we on 13? Command B?
All right, so I was just kind of showing you that. Okay, number 13. Next, in the tool option menu, select New or hit Command N as your keyboard shortcut. Next, in the tool option menu, select New or hit Command N as your keyboard shortcut. Command N. I get this new dialog box. When the new dialog box appears, title it just like you did for the brush, and you're going to set the width to 2 inches, the height to 2 inches, and the resolution to 300 pixels slash inches, and the background to transparent. So that was 2 inches by 2 inches, resolution of 300 with a background transparent. So we go 2, tab 2, resolution 300, and the background content is already set to transparent for me. So it may be different for you, just whatever it is, and then click
No,
OK.
name it.
Say it one more time.
Name it.
All right. Watermark. The reason that we're making this smaller is because you don't want to have this huge watermark. I can then take this one, I can put it into any program, Lightroom, I could do a batch process in Photoshop and add it to all my stuff without having to resize it too much. So this makes things a lot easier. It brings it to a manageable scale. Because right now, the actual watermark is that big. Because we made our signatures real big, so they make it easier to cut out. So that's kind of the thought process there. Okay, oh, where'd we go?
Gosh.
Careful, those boys right now.
Ha
All right, number 15, bless you. Switch back to the signature image that you removed the background from and drag it to the new blank file that you created. Be sure that the complete background has been removed. You'll notice here that I have this bounding box comes down here a little bit. You see that? It should actually be up here. So that's telling me that there's some, see how this one's right at the top of the J? That's telling me I didn't delete something down here. So it picked up something I missed. So all I'm going to simply do is I'm just going to grab my eraser tool. Oh, it's a heart. Look at that. And I'm just going to kind of just go around it at the bottom here. And now when I go back to my move tool,
It's still there.
It's still there. That's
It's
not
in a
cool.
Y.
Let's see here. Let's try it one more time. Maybe there's something right at the bottom here.
It's in a loop over the wall.
Is it? There's something there. Oh, there's a, yeah, there's a white right there. So let me zoom in. Good eye, Mr. Sawyer.
How did you even notice
That's
that?
so. I didn't notice it.
'Cause you
It's
didn't
just that's
select
the
it.
only other closed space in the image.
There you go. Hit delete.
Oh my
Command D.
Not even say that.
So that's a great point. If you want to double check that you have everything selected, you can put a transparent background behind it and then hit, I believe it's Option Delete. Yeah, Option Delete, and it'll show you that I've got everything now.
Oh wait.
Option delete.
And I'm just gonna, it'll fill in whatever your foreground color is. And I'm just gonna delete that. We're done with that.
It's the same process I used for my one.
Okay, so now I'm gonna grab this. I'm gonna pull it up to, oops, it's not gonna let me. Let me close out this one. All right, using the move tool, I'll make sure that you have layer 1 selected. I'm gonna grab this, I'm gonna pull it up to my Mr. Byrne watermark area, I'm gonna drop it in. And you'll see that it's huge, right? So I'm going to zoom out a little bit to where I can see my bounding box. And I wanna get my signature to go into the area. So I wanna put this caveat out there. If you have a long name, so mine's kind of square. If you have a long name, change this one to like a 2 by 3 inch aspect ratio so you can accommodate for a longer name. So I know that like Kelsey, you have a really long signature, right?
Yeah.
Jacqueline, you had a really long signature. So you're gonna want to have something a little bit more linear versus square so you can accommodate your name.
I just put it next to it.
So I'm just gonna resize this bounding box. If you get here and you can't see your bounding box,
You did something wrong.
sometimes up here in the move, see the move tool up here, you have show transform controls. That'll turn your bounding box off and on. So if you can't see it, it's because this isn't checked. So make sure that's checked. And then I'm gonna hit Command plus to zoom back in. I'm gonna get it to, I wanna fill as much of this as I can without going over.
This class goes by so fast.
And then hit enter. Okay, that was number 16. Resize it to fit your new background. Number 17, open your portrait. So your portrait should already be open.
Wait, resize to fit your new what?
Background.
Oh.
Your new background. We're gonna come back to this in just a moment. I'm jumping back and forth. So we created a brush a little bit ago. So now we have this awesome brush that we can use. Number 18. Next, use the color picker tool, the one that looks like an eyedropper. I is the keyboard shortcut. So if I push I on my keyboard, it's going to jump right to it.
Not Command I?
Nope, just I. Remember in the toolbox? These are all single key shortcuts. Just I. I is the keyboard shortcut. Select the color of the dominant color in the image. So you're going to find the color that pops the most. So this is kind of a muted one, but I'm going to grab this one because you want to pick something that will contrast with your background or really stand out. So I'm going to choose the color of her shirt here. And you'll notice now that my foreground color has now changed to this beige. Is that beige? Beige.
Tan.
Tan.
Cream? Or no, it's too orange.
Number 19. Go to your brush tool and select the watermark you just created. So I'm going to push B.
What?
I'm going to demonstrate.
You don't write.
Go to the brush tool and select the watermark you just created. So I'm going to push B as my keyboard shortcut. And I have all of my brushes in here. And I currently have quite a few. This one should be my watermark. Let's see. Yep, it's very small. So P and Z. All right, something didn't work, so let's do it really quick. File, edit, define brush preset, Mr. Watermark. Okay, there it is.
So are you going to put it on her shirt?
So I'm gonna actually put it right here because I want it to contrast with her shirt a little bit, and I'm gonna make a new layer, or I'm sorry, a new blank layer by this little dog ear right here, and I'm gonna put it on top of the image, and there's my watermark. So I've just digitally signed this. This is my signature. This is one of the watermarks we're going to create. We're going to create a couple other ones as well. But this define brush preset, which we used in our last project as well, has all kinds of applications. You can make any shape, any signature, anything like that into a brush, which you can then use within your work.
Anything into a brush.
You can make anything into a brush, which is kind of neat. All right, number 19. No, number 20. Go to your brush tool. 21. Using the bracket keys, you can change the size of your brush to fit your image. So if this one was too big, I can use the bracket keys. I put a little image on there, so I can make it bigger or smaller. We'll put a couple on there, right? Now paint the area of your picture with the brush you just created. That was 22. Number 23. You have now just digitally signed your work of art and protected it from copyright infringement, technically. Save your image as a JPEG and turn it into Google Classroom under the Portrait Watermark project. Choose quality 12 as your JPEG option. But I want to show you this really fast. You can so if I wanted to just scream, this is my image, do not steal it, I want to copyright it, this is mine. This is mine, right? I could have it be, I could adjust the opacity, right now it's at 100%, but if I wanted to just keep it kind of subtle, I could bring this down to like, say like a 25%, so it's not as strong, or even lower, to where you can barely see it. So at first glance you wouldn't notice it, but then if you were to like try to put it up on an overhead or something like that, you would really notice it. You can really protect your work this way. So it's kind of a personal preference. This is a kind of a
Wait,
low...
but if people were to like screenshot that,
My watermark would be on there though. You would
but
still
they
see
could
it.
black it out, couldn't they?
Yeah, just
This
like make
this
it-
watermark would be very easy to remove.
Yeah.
But the idea, and if somebody removes your watermark and then tries to sell it, that's like huge fees. Like that's instantly a $25,000 hit. Boom, right there.
Oh, dang, that's
I'm just
Yeah,
gonna make
we're gonna be
watermark
watching a
easy to
video
remove.
on this a little to explain that part a little more from a lawyer. Actually, I'm not a lawyer, so
Wait,
we'll have a lawyer explain it.
Byrne,
Yes,
is it 2,500 per picture?
yes,
Oh,
Wait, 2,500?
25,000.
Oh.
Okay.
I'm gonna make my watermark.
Now, you're going to switch back to your watermark you created, this one. You're going to save this one as a PNG, so 24. Now save your watermark that you created as a PNG to your thumb drive to use it at a later date. Perfect example, a couple days ago, Carla Sains was wanting to watermark her photo, and she goes, oh, I have that on my thumb drive. Because whenever you have this PNG, you can open it up on any computer that has Photoshop, go to Define Brush Preset, boom, you now have a brush with your signature on it.
let me guess.
You can sign legal documents with this, so if you're ever buying a house and you don't want to drive down to the escrow office, you can do it in Photoshop.
She used JPEG.
Awesome. What?
She used JPEG.
No, she saved it as a PNG and was able to create a brush on a different computer that she had never worked on because it was on her thumb drive.
Yeah, I know.
So, File, Save As, and make sure you choose the format option, PNG. It should already be labeled correctly. You're gonna save it. You're gonna save it to your thumb drive. I'm gonna save it to the desktop. And this is important. Your PNG options. Write this in your Cornell notes. Make sure you choose interlaced.
Interlace?
Interlaced.
What?
If you don't click on the interlace, it's gonna put a white background in there. So make sure that you choose interlaced. All right, number 25. This will allow you to digitally sign the document for the rest of your life. For questions, please see Mr. Byrne or email me at jbyrne@totmail.com. All right. Have a great day.